Welcome, everyone. It is great to have you with us today. We are going to be exploring something really massive happening in the tech world right now. That's Meta's, monumental push into artificial intelligence. I mean, it's a strategic shift so big, it could honestly reshape the whole industry. Today, we're zeroing in on two key things: the incredible AI talent Meta is pulling together and the just huge computing power they're building to make it all work. Now, you've shared a fascinating collection of reports, internal memos, stuff like that, shedding a lot of light on Meta's strategy here. So our mission today is basically to sift through all this and pull out the really important insights, especially for you if you're curious about where tech is heading and how it affects all of us. It's a really compelling story, and the implications, well, they're pretty huge for everyone.
Yeah, what's really striking is just the sheer scale, the audacity of what Meta's doing in AI right now. It's not just a small step. This feels like a really calculated, maybe even existential bet on an AI-first future for them. And these efforts, they're clearly designed to put Meta right at the forefront, competing head-to-head with the big players, OpenAI, Google. It's a very bold move,
Yeah.
very comprehensive, could really redefine how we interact with technology, honestly.
And to lead that kind of charge, well, Meta knew they needed more than just ambition, right? They needed the actual people who built the AI we have now. And these reports you shared, they paint this picture of Mark Zuckerberg basically on a talent offensive, building what some folks are calling an AI dream team.
Okay.
We've seen internal memos from Zuckerberg himself announcing this team of, nearly 24 researchers. And they've been aggressively recruited, poached, really, from rivals like OpenAI, Anthropic,
Well,
Google.
slowly pulling them in.
And leading this whole group, we see some really significant names stepping into new roles,
Yeah.
like Alexander Wang, who used to be CEO of Scale AI,
Yeah.
a company Meta, by the way, strategically poured a huge, $14.3 billion investment into.
A massive investment, yeah.
So Wang is now Meta's chief AI officer, and he's leading this new thing called Meta Superintelligence Labs, or MSL.
Hmm.
And alongside him, Nat Friedman, former CEO of GitHub, he's going to co-lead a new lab focusing on AI products and applied research with Wang.
Right.
They're clearly bringing in people with, proven track records, building and scaling really transformative tech.
And this isn't just about adding a few more engineers. It's a fundamental reorganization, a consolidation of their AI work. This new MSL, the Meta Superintelligence Labs, it basically pulls together all of Meta's foundational research, their product teams, that's their fundamental AI research group, plus this brand new lab just for next-gen models. And this restructuring, it seems like it came partly after, well, maybe some setbacks with their open source Llama 4 model, and they lost some key people too. So this signals a really decisive shift. It shows Meta is dead serious about being a dominant force in AI, not just, playing along.
Yeah, you really get a sense of that seriousness when you look at the specific people Zuckerberg highlighted in that memo. These aren't just smart engineers.
Yeah.
These are the architects, the people who actually built some of the most groundbreaking AI models we use or hear about every day. We're talking about people like Trapit Bansal. He pioneered these advanced ways for AI to reason, like reinforcement learning on chain of thought, which basically helps AI think step by step, get more logical answers.
Uh-huh. Really important stuff for reliability.
And he co-created OpenAI's O-series models. Then there's Shukalbi, who co-created the GPT-4o voice mode, that incredibly natural AI voice,
Oh, yeah, that was impressive.
and the O4 mini model. Plus, he led multimodal post-training at OpenAI. And Huiwen Chang, co-creator of GPT-4o's image generation. Before that, at Google Research, invented text-to-image models like MaskIT and Muse. Really cutting edge.
Mm-hmm. Image generation is huge.
Jilin helped build a whole bunch of the core GPT models, the multimodal ones too, image generation, even the operator reasoning stack for advanced AI logic.
Mm.
And Jack Ray from DeepMind. He was the pre-training tech lead for Google's Gemini, worked on reasoning for Gemini 2.5, and led earlier big models like Gopher and Chinchilla.
Wow, so real heavy hitters from DeepMind, too.
Exactly. And Xinjia Zhao, co-creator of ChatGPT, GPT-4, all the mini models, led synthetic data work at OpenAI too. Just an incredible lineup.
What's really striking, I think, is why these specific skills are so valuable. When Meta grabs people who did the foundational work on GPT-4o, on Gemini, it means they're bringing in the direct know-how, the deep understanding, maybe even, the secret sauce to build competing, maybe even better AI. Pulling together expertise across core models, multimodal AI, reasoning, it signals they want to own the whole AI stack, from the ground up research to the final products people use. It's a kind of vertically integrated strategy that, frankly, very few companies could even try. And it does raise this interesting question, too, about their strategy overall. The info suggests they might even be thinking about ditching their open source behemoth model for a closed one.
It would be a big shift.
It would, yeah. Especially for a company that's been such a big proponent of open source and AI recently. So something to watch there.
Okay, so it sounds like an absolute dream team. But, even the most brilliant chefs need an incredible kitchen, right?
Good analogy.
Yeah. And Meta's huge AI goals, they need infrastructure on a scale that's almost hard to wrap your head around. A literal computational backbone built for, well, super intelligence. We're talking an investment Zuckerberg himself said could be hundreds of billions of dollars. This isn't just adding servers, it's building whole new computational landscapes.
Hundreds of billions. It's staggering.
Just consider this. They're building 2 flagship data centers that are almost, mind-boggling in scale. First, Hyperion, expected to provide 5 gigawatts of power. And to give you an idea, Zuckerberg said its footprint would cover most of Manhattan.
Most of Manhattan, wow.
Yeah. This monster is going in Richland Parish, Louisiana. They plan to get 2 gigawatts online by 2030 and scale up to the full 5 gigawatts over a few years. And there's Prometheus. That's a 1 gigawatt supercluster expected online in 2026 over in New Albany, Ohio.
And just to put those numbers in perspective, I mean, a single gigawatt, that's a huge amount of power, enough to run hundreds of thousands of homes. The fact that Meta is building these 2 and, as the reports say, planning multiple more Titan clusters, it just underlines the sheer ambition. There was a report from SemiAnalysis saying Meta's likely to be the first AI lab to actually bring a gigawatt-plus supercluster online.
The first one.
Yeah. It's unprecedented for AI infrastructure, really pushing the limits. Kind of makes you think of those old sci-fi movies with giant supercomputers, It's almost surreal to see it happening.
It really is. But building that kind of future obviously comes with an astronomical price tag. Yeah. So the natural question is, how are they paying for this?
Yeah.
And what's the long-term financial game here?
Yeah, what's the justification?
Well, Zuckerberg's been pretty upfront. He basically said, we have the capital from our business to do this, referencing, their nearly $165 billion in revenue last year. Their stock is up over 20% this year, too, which probably helps with confidence.
Sure does.
And they've even bumped up their planned capital spending for 2025 pretty significantly to between $64 billion and $72 billion.
And that massive spending, it's tied directly to Meta's long-term strategy, right? I mean, sure, AI already helps their ad business. Now it sells more ads, maybe at higher prices. But this level of investment, it's not just about today's ad revenue. Like that analyst Gloria pointed out, at this scale, it feels much more geared towards that long-term race to have the leading AI model. And that could take years to pay off.
A long game.
Definitely a long game. Meta's clearly betting these huge efforts will eventually create major new income streams from things like their Meta AI app, maybe new image-to-video ad tools, their smart glasses. It's a very, very expensive gamble, but potentially transformative if they can pull it off and achieve that kind of dominance.
So can you just picture it, a data center the size of Manhattan, just humming with power, running these incredibly advanced AI models? What does that scale really mean for the world around it?
Yeah, that's the crucial next question.
Because when we talk about power in gigawatts, it's not just some abstract number on a spreadsheet, is it?
Not at all.
It has really real-world impacts, especially for our energy grid and for the communities where these things are built. Prometheus and Hyperion together, they'll use enough energy to power millions of homes. That's just a staggering demand hitting the system.
And it raises this critical issue. How are we actually going to meet that kind of soaring demand? Experts are estimating just data centers alone, could eat up maybe 20% of America's total energy consumption by 2030.
20%.
Yeah, it's a huge jump from just 2.5% back in 2022. A massive increase. And it really forces you to think hard about the resources needed, energy, water, everything. Seriously.
And, we're already seeing real examples of the impact on communities, like Meta's project down in Newton County, Georgia. There are reports that it's actually led to water taps running dry in some residents' homes.
Wow, actual water shortages.
Yeah. And CoreWeave, another company building big data centers, their expansion near Dallas, Texas, it's projected to literally double that city's electricity needs.
Double, just from one project expansion.
These aren't like far-off theories. It's happening now, direct impacts in communities right across the country.
Yet, despite these pretty serious challenges, there seems to be significant political backing for pushing ahead with this energy-hungry frontier. The Trump administration, for instance, has generally supported these AI data center buildouts. President Trump even helped announce OpenAI's big Stargate project.
Yeah, I remember that.
And Chris Wright, the U.S. Secretary of Energy, wrote this piece in The Economist, strongly calling for the U.S. to lead the next major energy-intensive frontier, artificial intelligence. He actually said AI transforms electricity into, quote, the most valuable output imaginable, intelligence.
Wow. Most valuable output imaginable. That's quite a statement.
It is. And he called for speeding up energy production from, well, basically everything, coal, nuclear, geothermal, natural gas, to meet this demand he sees coming.
Okay, so if AI really does become this most valuable output imaginable, what does that actually mean for how we generate power, how we use it? Are we really ready as a society for a future where these huge AI operations could fundamentally change our energy landscape and even affect things like our water supply? It really shifts the whole calculation, doesn't it? For infrastructure, resources, everything on a national level.
It really underscores the central challenge here. Without a massively accelerated increase in energy production and probably some really innovative ways to manage resources, these incredibly ambitious AI projects could end up causing even more problems for communities, for the grid, for our wider infrastructure. Tech companies like Meta, they seem absolutely determined to build this future. But the societal side, the resource implications, they're huge. And they're going to need serious attention and, frankly, some real solutions.
Well, what an exploration of Meta's AI plans today. From pulling together, some of the world's top AI minds to building computing power on this scale that's almost, I'm not going to even imagine, spanning these vast new facilities.
Yeah.
It really drives home that this isn't just a tech story, is it? It's fundamentally a story about resources, about energy, and really about the future shape of our world.
Absolutely. Meta's incredibly aggressive push here, backed by just colossal talent and this mind-bending infrastructure build-out. It's definitely setting a precedent. It shows what the future of tech competition might look like. But as we've discussed, it also brings up these really fundamental questions about sustainable growth, about societal impact. As AI gets more and more powerful, more central to everything, what are the trade-offs? What trade-offs might we as a society be asked to make for this most valuable output imaginable? That's a question I think we'll all be grappling with for, well, probably decades to come.
A really important question indeed. Thank you so much for joining us for this closer look at Meta's AI endeavors. We really encourage you to keep exploring these fascinating points where technology, the economy, and our everyday lives all intersect. Until next time.